Today we'll be going to recap the next 3 chapters of Transmigrating to Another World once more. Before starting the recap, if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, subscribe to it for more interesting recaps like this. Let's begin. The revenge trio sits beside a pond doing their laundry while talking about the events of last night. Sihan tells them that fighting the Earth Dragon would be a hard job, provided he's already weak on his powers. Zeon questions the need for recruiting so many hires and Magians. This makes Sihan wonder if taking up the offer was a good idea, which he himself counters with how they must have gotten rid of the 3 if they declined, since they are aware of the Ivory Tower secret now. He also adds that they still might try and do that after their work is done. Alita and Zeon look at him for a proper moment, making Sihan arrogantly think that the two must not have thought this thoroughly, only to be proven wrong when Alita counters him, saying he's wrong since Zeon must have intentionally tried pondering over the secret experiment, and if their plan was killing the 3 they wouldn't have hidden this in the first place either. She also adds that they didn't get much into the other details either, but told us enough to not consider it simple orders, so they must need them. This somewhat embarrasses Sihan for underestimating both of their thinking capabilities, since they both were very much aware and thoughtful during the whole scenario. Zeon then questions Sihan for his motives with this plan, to which he smiles that going with the flow might provide them with some information to approach Jexengord. Sihan and Zeon then banter about the close tension between them relevant to the underwear fiasco, when some pleasant ladies approach them intended on their own laundry and offer them nicely to rest in the village. The 2 guys respectfully respond and take their leave, while Alita just looks a bit reserved. Right when their backs face the women, something monstrous shines in their eyes and the women suddenly pounce to attack the 3, but Alita, walking in proximity, reacts with perfect timing, making the guys and even those women shocked at Alita expecting something like this from such a pleasant facade and reacting with such accuracy. 3 of them paced themselves to face the cult fanatics, in midst of which Sihan questions how Alita figured this ambush, to which she just says she didn't expect it, she was just cautious as a habit whenever someone approaches her. This creates a rather funny image in the head of Sihan when he pictures an unamused blank Alita looking at the previously happy and friendly women talking and wondering what moment they'll stab her for no apparent reason. The creepy fanatic women just look at the 3 murderously chanting how death is their only ultimate success that they will achieve and go to heaven with. Their eyes scare Alita, who exclaims to the others to be careful because of that look, but literally 10 seconds later Alita and Zeon just stand behind Sihan looking at all the maniac women lying unconscious by the ultimate powerful Sung Sihan. Alita cheapishly says that maybe only the eyes were the different thing about them, to which an unamused Sihan boringly lectures her that not everyone can be a berserker, they were some old ladies, not warriors. Sihan then wonders why the 3 were targeted at such an area, only to see clouds from chaos and fight rising from the trees. They realize that the believers have attacked the entire subjugation, to which Sihan clenches his jaws in anger for leisurely doing laundry while there's such a havoc out there. They figure that the whole village has been a den for the cult while they resided in it. The village is in utter chaos and damage, with fire and blood all around, while the maniac believers of the cult chant about going to heaven and attack the subjugation venomously. The Magians and knights fight the people out of their minds, only to be burdened by demonic beasts attacking them. The knights still don't lose their guard and keep on defeating the beasts, along with wondering what kind of demonic city are they in for the trouble to just keep coming and coming to them non-stop. Matgayan Habark tells the Joldaran that the heretics must have controlled all the beasts over the entire mountain range, which shocks him, wondering how vast the mind-controlling capability of the dragon is. But he consoles himself that this means that the dragon is at least 500 years old, only to be tortured again by Habark, who reveals that it's just a 100-year-old dragon with increased mind-controlling powers via experiments. Joldaran pales at the revelation that this dragon must be strong then, but this time Habark actually tells a bit reassuring fact that it's just his mind-controlling ability that's been affected more than they expected, not the physical, fighting or magic powers. But this isn't as reassuring, since it doesn't mean the rest of its powers are less, it's just the calculations were accurate. Their panic is cut short when they notice the beasts heading to tavern where their mighty superior Keltron is in hiding. Keltron starts shivering, shouting and at most crying like a coward that the knights should have been guarding him and this was supposed to be a safe place when even his current guard are shaken a bit at the sight of the demons, but Sihan, Xion and Alita appear at the perfect moment to deal with the issue at hand. Sihan is approached by the knight, who gets to know that the rest of their subjugation is in ambush too. He tells Sihan to protect Count Keltron, to which Keltron also cowardly orders to do so, making Sihan have funny disappointed expressions at this. Suddenly, Sihan becomes hyper-aware of a presence approaching his side. A presence none other than the Earth Dragon. As the Black Lion Knights manage to fight away most of the beasts, a new wave of panic occurs when everyone on the subjugation notices the Earth Dragon out on the open ready to fight them. Nobody expected to face the dragon this soon, but the knights try to calm themselves that they have a strong team of knights and Magians at the moment. The Magians prepare their defensive spells while being a teeny bit relieved that the dragon's physical strengths are exactly according to their calculations, so they would be able to handle this with the knights. But the knights are flushed already with fighting all those beasts and worry about facing the dragon at the moment. Joldarin still worries that the dragon still has strong powers, to which Habark calls it a probability of 4% that his abilities will grow further. Once again, this doesn't serve as a reassurance for Joldarin, but he redeems his composure thinking it is what it is and the knights are supposed to back down, so they should ready themselves to fight. All the Black Lion Knights face the dragon with their unique iron wall technique, which impresses Xion a bit, while Sihan just looks at it as a picture of Jexengord's past image, but he does not see it as a strong stance, rather a dumb thoughtless move that could cost them more than they expect. He observes the moves and fights thoroughly, understanding that everything about the technique is just the same as the Jexengord he knew from 10 years ago. Suddenly, he realizes and smiles to the fact that then the weaknesses of Jexengord and his knights will still be the ones he knows too. Sihan then comes back to reality and the three head to face the dragon, knowing that they won't win without aid. That's when a forgotten Keltron intervenes, selfishly, telling them to lead him towards the safer route since he's gonna be next after the knights, which earn him many disappointed looks, but it does not pay them any heed. The coward Count just keeps screaming at them absurdly while they try and figure out what to do with him. That's when Keltron realizes that they're gonna make him pass out and go ahead to do whatever they want. Sihan nervously tries to do so, but Keltron catches on it and mocks them for thinking so, but before they could think of any other way to get rid of Keltron, a huge weight hits his head, making him pass out. Dina turns out to be getting rid of the unnecessary annoyance. After appreciating Dina with genuine expressions, they go ahead to aid the knights the fight, who seem to be exhausted like hell with all the labor they went through in a single day. Not being able to hold themselves anymore, the knights try and dodge the foot of the dragon that hits hard on the ground, but Knight Living bears the force of it and is thrown away, but before his flying body could reach the dragon, Alita attacks the dragon and the other two save Living. Joldarin addresses Sihan, who explains Keltron's fainting with an excuse and how they came to help, along with mentioning the close save of Living's life. Joldarin appreciates Sihan at all this effort and saving their lives when he notices Alita holding her arm in pain. Sihan worriedly asks her if she's fine, to which she tells him that the powers of dragon are much more than she expected, so her attack resulted in a reactive injury to her own arm. Sihan seriously tries telling everyone that they need to target the scales of the dragon first, because it's hard to directly hurt the dragon with their normal attacks, but his mouth suddenly hangs open with eyes wide in speechlessness when the dragon panics at Alita's blood on its face and runs away scared, and something just like it wasn't a well-trained old dragon to have great powers. Everyone just stands there questioning what just happened, wondering whether it was phobia of blood or something else, but they are too tired to do anything else than letting it settle for them. The attack ends there and a few of the so-called believers are held and tied to be mocked by others for using their legend's name like that, to which they still reply adamantly that Sihan's savior would save them. Sihan, overhearing this, just goes for a "I want" in his head and leaves. Alita and Sihan talk about the loss due to the ambush along with discussing that the rest of the people must have ran away by now and the dragon and Lakran must also be in some proper hiding by now, so this subjugation can be considered as somewhat a success. Meanwhile, in a random cave, Lakran worries in exhaustion about why does the dragon not listen to him at all anymore, while the dragon just lies there unbothered about the presence. Lakran keeps trying for about 4 days to convince the monster to obey him and attack the rest of the subjugation, but the monster pays literally no heed to any words from Lakran as if there's no such existence. He thinks of his evil plan of needing the dragon to attack people who are after his life, with stealing and running away with all the money and jewelry he has taken from the stupid believers as form of their donations. Lakran threatens the dragon to wake up and shoos him off with the traces of Lusclan blood, only to receive the shock of his life that it gets the dragon's reaction but not the way he expected. Instead, the powder in his hand starts burning, making Lakran throw it off and wonder what's happening. He looks at the menacing dragon with fear enough that his body already looked like the soul left it. He further is affirmed that indeed his soul is about to leave his body is when he notices that even the mind control magic has been broken and the dragon is free now. And what else would a free dragon do than eating away a person who used to control it and is being extremely annoying Ariand. So that's how the Ort with Lakran comes to an end. The especially selected part of subjugation to capture Lakran and the dragon reach the cave where the dragon resides and wonder what would be the dragon doing in there, where Lakran would be, and what are the possibilities of the controlled beasts still lurking around. In the midst of this important mission, Juldaran and Habark talk about the elephant in the room. Why is Keltran accompanying them as a liability? This is when they argue on how Keltran weighed the possibility of staying back with the soldiers in a region where beasts can attack or wandering off with stronger knights to an even more dangerous place. So he obviously chose the latter to follow. And not as a joke, but Keltran actually had a proper image of weighing the two options and choosing one. Getting back on track, Habark tells them that he's affirmative that the dragon resides here as he used confession magic on the hostages to get them to tell all of the stuff to them. They mention that the normal confession magic didn't work much, but as soon as they used some unknown black powder, they succeeded in extracting the needed information. Sihan wonders about what the pewter could be. That's when everyone feels a good sense of battle intent from the cave as they see the eyes of the dragon shine from their looking at them with literal flames and ice. Everyone gets into their battle position ready to face the dragon, but everyone was left too stunned to react as soon as they came to face the dragon out of the cave. Its size has increased much bigger than before, that causes everyone to panic and worry. They all wonder how the dragon became so large just in a span of 4 days. Juldaran grins evilly that no matter how he grew up this much or whatever the reason be, it's not a problem for him and he'll defeat the dragon to show him what kind of strong powers a BLCK Lion Knight has in itself. Similarly, Habark also remarks about how the presence of too many people and too many beasts didn't allow him to flex his magic, but now he has enough fighting energy and power and everyone else is not tired either, so this time the battle can actually shift their way even if the dragon magically increased in size. Everyone uses their fighting energy and spells in a combination for the dragon such that the Magians work in a way to attack while the knights use their energy in a defensive manner. This impresses Xion as a technique and even Sihan calls it a nice move, and if it remains stable they won't even have the need to intervene in all this. But once again, another situation cuts Sihan off to leave him shocked with eyes out of his sockets yet another time. All the defensive and attacking magic is vanished right in an instant just by the looks of the dragon that completely backfired their plan. This time, the dragon looks like an otherworldly monster with no control whatsoever, creating havoc all over by throwing fire from his mouth. Even Sihan feels the heat of the fire, which makes him realize that his magic nullification doesn't work on this dragon either, confusing him yet again. He then notices how half the people have already been taken down and Magians are just ordinary here since the creature is resistant to magic. This is when Sihan makes a very risky decision of saving lives. Sihan risks his appearance being unveiled by displaying his fighting energy and exert it to get ready to face the dragon on his own, only for the sake of saving lives. Subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell for next part.